What's up, everyone? Welcome to the BDE Sports Talk Podcast. Here to give you the latest scoop in the world of sports in the great state of Michigan and the great city of Detroit. In this week's episode, we talk about KD wanting out of Phoenix and should the Pistons give up almost everything to try and get him? And if they were to get him, are they instant contenders in the East? Discuss the rule breakers of the NFL, the Detroit Lions, and of course, the weekly Tigers update. I'm Bill, one of three co-hosts, along with the D and E of the BDE, Dean and Eddie. Fellas, as always, looking great. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Doing good.
Doing
Nothing
good. Doing
changes
good.
for me. Nothing changes for me.
Doing good. Doing good.
How are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not doing awesome. I'm a little upset. And I'd like to get this off my chest. I'm glad.
All right. Let it loose.
Women. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what I'm saying?
You know?
Breaking news. Well, it's not breaking news. It's a couple-day-old news.
Yeah.
The Glizzy King.
Oh.
The American champion. A hero. 8 times. Defending champ. Joey Chestnut. Has been banned from the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. As if you're listening to this, you probably know by now. Due to him supporting, I guess, or sponsoring a vegan hot dog and not Nathan's. Seems a little petty. So
In the hot dog world, I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
Man.
It's a tight market, you know.
I mean, it's the 8-time champ.
It's-
Back
I mean,
to
that's-
back.
Nathan's made him famous. Where's the appreciation?
That's
True.
true. Let's discuss. In a statement by Joey Chestnut that was put out on X, he was gutted. He said, "I was gutted to learn from the media that after 19 years, I'm banned from the hot dog eating contest." He said, "Nathan's. I love competing in that event. I love celebrating America." Amen, brother. With my fans all over this great country on the 4th, and I have been training to defend my title. To set the record straight, I do not have a contract with Major League Eating or Nathan's, and they are looking to change the rules from past years as it relates to other partners I can work with. This is apparently the basis on which I'm being banned, and it doesn't impact the July 4th event. Sadly, this is the decision Nathan's and Major League Eating are making, and it will deprive the great fans of the holiday's usual joy and entertainment. To my fans, I love you and appreciate you. Rest assured that you'll see me eat again soon. Stay hungry. To my response, I love you too. Fellas, I've seen a lot of backlash on social media this week. A lot of people saying they'll never eat another Nathan's hot dog. Not one Glizzy's going to touch their grill.
Okay.
They said they won't be watching. They said free
Ooh.
Joey.
Free Joey.
Free Joey. How
Did
do you-
yeah,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
No. How do I feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, because how I feel is he's okay. We just discussed this. Defending champ, 8-time champ, record setter, your biggest draw next to Kobayashi.
I don't think he's competed in a while, has he?
Kobayashi?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking in terms of popularity from
Fair enough. Yeah. Those are the
essentially
names,
in my lifetime. Those
Yeah,
are the
no.
2 names, like you said.
for sure.
Massive mistake by Nathan's here, or Joey needs to sack up and be a Nathan sponsor. Bow to the man. I say no. America was founded on independence, my friends. If Nathan's, I feel like they're gonna screw themselves because I am already on the fence of watching dudes eat wet bread hot dogs. Anyways,
It's my favorite
And
part
then-
was when they dip it in the water.
what was it? The guy who took second last year ate like what? It was pretty
ate it.
close, wasn't it?
I mean, they all eat a ton of hot dogs.
Right. But I mean, like, man, you take him away, and then you're looking at not even close to record. Half the time I'm watching it to see if he breaks his own record. Right? Or if someone takes down the champ. Highly doubtful. American hero. So, big mistake on Nathan's to you guys or no?
Ratings wise, probably it'll take a hit, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it's kind of like maybe I don't know. To be honest, I don't really ever watch the hot dog eating contest. Kind of grosses me out a little bit. Just the slobbing of everything
reminds you of you every other Saturday night.
my weekends on the golf course.
You can find Dean behind the Love's truck stop on Saturday nights out in GR.
Taking down gas station glizzy.
Sure.
But I don't know. I think of it as like an opportunity for somebody else to shine a little bit. Because I mean, obviously he was probably gonna win. I mean, he's won it 8 times in a row. Has always been in the top, even when Kobayashi was the top guy. He was still getting like second place in a pretty close battle with him. So I think ratings wise, I don't know. I mean, I think people just watch just to watch anyway, because it's more of a spectacle, to see people eat freaking 60 hot dogs or whatever with bread without swallowing it, essentially. So I don't know. I think it's a good thing for somebody in the food eating sports or competitions. I mean, it's a good way for them to get their name out there if they can pull off a win. So I think it'll be a good thing for the future eaters, but not necessarily a great thing for possibly the ratings of this year.
Yeah, I think it will kind of affect it, because like I would watch, like you guys said, just to like if Joey Chestnut's not in it, then it doesn't feel like it's the real contest, because he hasn't been unseated. So like I haven't watched in a while, but I'm definitely way less likely to watch now, and especially knowing that Kobayashi retired this year, and then actually they're having a duel in like August or September. They're doing a 1v1 hot dog eating competition because due to this, and I would rather watch that than the one on July 4th, because that's the real champ.
Actually watch that. Yeah.
Yeah, the real champ is going to be crowned then, not these other dudes or ladies, whoever's out there. I don't know. So yeah, it was a big mistake by Nathan's, just in the fact that Joey Chestnut is the only really synonymous name other than Kobayashi with the hot dog contest. I can't name anybody else. Can you? Can you guys?
Beard, man.
The beard and
Beard guy?
Matt Stoney. Matt Stoney's really good. He actually,
but he's not a legitimate. He's not going to win.
He'll probably win this year.
Well, yeah, now. But that doesn't really count.
I mean, now. Well, here's the thing. This is the scenario I'm thinking in my head. Next year, they do like a Royal Rumble style and hit Joey Chestnut's music as the last surprise entrance. And then it's 2 champions. Champion v champion.
You know what they should? Whoever wins, Chestnut and Kobayashi should invite to the one in August or September. And then, like, I'd be more interested then, because it'd be like, well, let's see where the guy who won actually ended up comparing.
What do you think he'll want to do
the guy,
depending on who it is? Be like, well, I mean, technically, I am the champion. Do I really?
Yeah, I think so, because how else are you gonna get your name out there in the food world, other than those? Like, that's gonna be more watched than the Nathans, I think. Unless just random, like you guys said, a spectacle type of deal. Like you just flip it on and be like, oh, they're eating hot dogs today, huh? I mean, that kind of thing. But like to actually like be like, okay, I'm gonna watch this. You have to have the 2 big names, and then if you have the winner, that would actually draw a few more.
Right.
So
plus YouTube wise too. I mean, that's just such a more widespread audience than the Nathan.
Is that where it's going to be on? Is it going to be on YouTube?
I imagine they would probably post it on YouTube at least, if
Yeah.
if nothing else,
I don't know any details about it other than that it got set up. So
That'll be
To
cool.
put the-
I will watch that.
To put things in perspective, the 2022 hot dog eating contest, Joey had won. He ate 63. Finishing in second was Jeffrey Esper with 47 and a half.
In 2022.
2023, Joey finished with 62. Jeff Esper was in second again with 49.
Where's the
So what are we
spectacle?
talking about here,
Yeah.
man?
There's
dude,
the huge
anybody can eat
drop-off.
49 hot dogs.
13 dog difference.
loser.
That's an enormous. Like I don't even know if I could eat 13 dog. I mean, I probably could,
I definitely could eat 13.
but that's not going to be easy either.
No.
Like
Well,
even
no,
without
yeah.
like a time frame, they're just like, all right, I made you 13 dogs. Let's get these down in an hour.
Oh yeah, money.
Actually, you would
Right.
actually need to do it fast.
Yeah, because
You know, like if you just sat there and tried to eat 13 over an hour. Anyway.
Well, here's
Yeah.
my question for you, Ed. How would you take this down? Because you don't like wet bread.
It's a competition. I just adjust my
he's
thoughts
just
for the
gagging his way
competition.
through the wet bread.
Yeah, it might make me sick, but like if I'm like serious about it, I would just do it.
Right.
Because obviously that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So like I'm not
So you
going to put
swallow.
myself at a disadvantage because I'm being a little sensitive about wet bread.
Okay.
Know
But
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
huge drop off. And they only have 10 minutes to do it. So it's
10
looking
minutes.
like yeah. Try to take down 13 glizzies in 13 minutes or in 10 minutes.
Should we do that? If anybody watches, comment below. We'll do a hot dog contest right here.
That should be the game for Wake Up. YouTube. I'll just time you guys. I'll be
just
be
gotta
the
I gotta pack
master
a
of
hot
No,
dog
ceremony.
you gotta be in on that one.
Okay, I can do it.
Yeah,
I had a bag
you
of
should
dogs
be.
boiling
Oh,
on the
no.
stove.
No. Looks like I ended up doing brats.
Brats and smash burgers.
We just wrap a brat in one of them burgers.
he's smashing brats out there.
Bring your
So-
antacids, but man, that's gonna be a good time.
I have a feeling there's going to be enough pushback from people and bad publicity that they'll probably end up letting him do it.
What if? Well, we're not that far out.
Yeah, I know.
If he,
I mean,
unless
it's
he's
only
been
2 days.
training,
Right.
Yeah, he said he
you
is.
know, he'll
In
go
his
in there with a
statement.
pulled hammy or something.
Man, that dude eats so much. He's probably training all the time.
Oh yeah.
So I guess we'll see. We'll keep update on the saga of Joey Chestnut. Moving over to the Pistons. From glizzies to the Pistons.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant stated this week that he wants
From
out
eating
of Phoenix.
glizzies to sucking them. They suck. They sucked. They won 14 games.
So Katie wants out of Phoenix, as he stated this week. Your guys' thoughts? Do the Pistons throw everything they have for him, or make everyone outside of Cade an offer that they can't refuse? Or, I mean, I don't know if he has a no trade clause or not. I probably should look that up while you guys are talking. Or is he not worth it? Thoughts, Dean?
How old is he now? He's 36.
Yeah, he's got to be. Isn't that crazy?
He's not that old.
I mean, in the grand scheme of life, no. In basketball, he's old.
I can ball.
I believe it. You got that 3-pointer.
He'll be 36 when next season comes up.
So at the start of next season, he'll be 36.
Yep.
That's tough because you're not really. I mean, he was the best player on the Suns last year, like by the numbers. I guess I didn't really look too heavily into it because I honestly I don't think he would want to come to Detroit anyway if he has any sort of say. Let alone there's nobody here for him to be like, yeah, I really want to play with that guy. You know what I mean? Except for maybe Cade. Maybe that's a big maybe though. There hasn't been enough out there on Cade to really justify a superstar wanting to leave, or wanting to come to Detroit.
Would you put him on par with Devin Booker as far as star
Kevin
power
Durant?
goes? No,
Kevin Durant. Oh, Cade?
Cade.
Not yet. He could get there, but he hasn't played a full season yet. I mean, that's what it boils down to. I mean, he hasn't made the playoffs. He hasn't wowed us in any type of way. I mean, he's been a good player when he's been on the floor, but he's not like a wow, like he hit 9 threes tonight, or you know what I mean? Just in that sense, he's a really good player. And with another if they were to get Kevin Durant, it would be a huge upgrade for the team. And I mean, in general, I mean, he's the complete player if he stays healthy. But you start thinking about his age, you start thinking about his recent and past injuries. That's a tough sell. And in the end, you have a squad right now that, like Eddie just said, they won 14 games last year. So if you're going to make any type of move and he'd be willing to do it, you might want to consider it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, first of all, I don't think he'll have any interest in coming to Detroit in general. From what I've looked up and read, he and Booker were at minimum in the loop on Monty when he got fired in Phoenix. And he was reportedly excited for the team's future after the firing. So if anybody leans towards he has a connection here in Monty, then I think they probably just need to let that go, because I don't believe that that's a big draw for KD.
Right.
I also doubt he's looking to join a team that paid the aforementioned coach $1 million per win last year, with not much depth on the roster for him to be excited for, as Dean was highlighting. I mean, the combo of him, Cade Durant, would be really nice. And if it's an option, I think they should definitely go after him if it's an option. And I don't know if I'd go as far as being a contender, but if Katie and Cade play 90% of the games, the Pistons probably make the playoffs, probably the play-in. Katie's the type of player that they need, obviously. Any team needs. Any team would love a player like KD, but that's the kind of player we've been really struggling for, and it's kind of the one I've been talking about for, since basketball season, really needing that like solid vet there that a person like Cade could look up to and be like, hey, okay, like here's somebody I can listen to. I don't have to, like, Joe Harris isn't going to tell Cade what to do and Cade take it serious. You know what I'm saying? Like, he just can't. So, but KD is like the top of that type of player. And I don't think he'll want to come here anyway, unless, he thinks back on it now and is like, oh, I really did like playing for Monty. And, Cade's a nice player. And the only connection that an experience really KD has with that is when, you remember last year, like the Team USA practices, and they were saying like, oh, Cade was showing out and all this other stuff in the exhibition games. I mean, now I guess if he's like, Cade was pretty nice right then I guess. But in general, KD's trying to win a ring again before he just said he's going to be 36. He's got, who knows, a few years tops before it doesn't matter where he's playing, like Shaq when he went to like Boston. Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be sweet for a couple years. Hopefully that's all he's got left on his contract, and we just have to keep that if that was the case. Everything's got to be on the table this offseason anyway, even trading Cade at this point. like I said at the beginning, and I'll just finish with that, is there was a 14-win team. There's nowhere to go but up. And any changes being made, I think right now you just have to just be on board with them, other than like, something stupid, like sign Clay to like a max contract, right? I
Right.
mean, just because that'd be pretty silly. Like
If
Clay's
it
a good
wasn't
player
a
and stuff,
max,
but
I think that would be them signing Clay would be a good signing if it wasn't for like a max deal. Because he
no,
does
that's what I'm
fit what
saying.
they need,
Yeah,
right.
if you could bring him in, sure, but like to come here
You're gonna have to
right
give him
now,
yeah.
Right. Well, and is an interesting point you brought up about Monty Williams, because there's been nothing, unless something's changed, that says that he'll still be in Detroit
true.
as of now. So I think in order to get Kevin Durant, you have to keep Cade. I don't think you can get rid of Cade and him even sniff wanting to come here, let alone I don't think he's going to want to come to Detroit anyway. But I mean, it's definitely a big incentive for him to do it if he thinks he can, like you said, with him and Cade, Duran, and him, as that big three.
I think you'd have to put Duran in the deal though to get him.
Well, that number 5 pick, even though it's a weak draft, that's still a top 5 pick, regardless, And if there's someone that they can see building a future in around there,
Honestly, it seems like we're going to end up with Jeremy Grant again.
or
I'm just starting to get those vibes. Portland's trying to trade up. He's the kind of player we need. It just feels wrong because it didn't work out when he was here before.
Right. Does he make them into contender?
Of course. They're a Jeremy Grant away from being contenders.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the worst deal.
Right.
It's hard to be excited because obviously he was here and nothing really happened.
We know what we're getting out of Jeremy Grant.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And it's just interesting that we still haven't heard anything in regards to Monty. Or really from Langdon at all. I
know, dude. I'm wondering if he's just AI. He just AI, like you don't see him, dude. You just get these little things that just shoot out from the internet ether, man. Like things that are happening, but no appearance to be made.
It's crazy. Well, I guess if they were to get Kevin Durant, Eddie, you kind of alluded to it already. Do you think that makes them at least? I wouldn't. You're right. I don't know if I'd say a contender in the East. I did have that down, but even a contender to win the division.
I think when you get a guy like Kevin Durant, those expectations automatically come with him, regardless of who else is on the team, because he's just that type of player. I mean, you think about everywhere else he's gone; they're immediate contenders, regardless of who else has been on the team. You think about Brooklyn before Kyrie had even gone there yet. They're like, oh, this they're the number one seed, because they were coming off a pretty good season anyway without getting Kyrie and James Harden. So I think when I don't think they're actual contenders like Eddie had said earlier, but I do think when you pick up Kevin Durant, people are going to talk about your team like you are a contender, regardless of who else is on the team, just because he's that type of player. If he stays healthy and he's dropping 25, 30 a night, Cade's getting like 12 assists, 15 points. I mean, people are going to be like, yeah, this is going to be the duo, right? You're automatically a contender. So I think they're legitimately a contender? Probably not, but I think you're in the conversation with Kevin Durant.
You almost have to ask the question: does Kevin Durant make you 40 games better?
If you get rid of
or 30 games, sorry, 40 is probably a stretch, but
if you get rid of everybody else Yes, I think
It's
so.
that's the thing.
beefs her, though. He
You
beefs
can't
her.
just add Kevin Durant to the team and be like, oh, now we're 40 games better.
Right.
Like I said, he's got to play 90% of the games, and so does Cade, to make it worthwhile. And I think it has to go with the plan of other depth that goes in. And I think you could probably piecemeal like dudes that they had kind of done the last few off seasons, and just bring in a couple of vets that can come off the bench type of thing. Because you kind of like Asar, defensively, to be a guy that could provide a little bit of a spark on that end of the floor. Sasser, he'll hit a few threes. Your boy Beef, coming off the bench, is a better role for him. So like the team changes with a guy like KD all around, not just, oh, now we have one guy in our lineup, everything's the same. So he changes the dynamic of how you play by a lot. And no, I don't think we're good enough to knock Milwaukee off the top of the division, but could be second, depending how Donovan Mitchell does in Cleveland.
Makes for some interesting basketball, at least.
Oh yeah. Oh, at least
For
watchable.
Sure. Yeah. We could say we have
That,
Kevin
that
Durant.
that should be incentive, if anything. I mean, then they're going to start putting the end court club out.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't think it'll happen. I don't even think they'll make a move for it. But it's, makes for a great thumbnail for our episode.
Sure. It's not out of the realm, but it's pretty darn close.
Yeah. They'll probably shoot an offer, but will they take it?
Just to get slapped in the face? I mean, you call, be like, is there any shot at that? They'll be like, nah, not really. You'll be like, all right, that's cool.
Listen, Jade
and then you hang
Ivey,
up.
beef stew.
I would appreciate
telling
that.
me.
I would appreciate that. It's kind of like when I talk about the Tigers. Make the phone call. At least show me that you're making the phone call. Like I can appreciate that. If they don't want to come here, that's okay. You call JD Martinez and he says you can go kick rocks. I never want to set foot in Detroit. That's fine. But at least you called.
Call.
Right. Well, and
just call.
I mean, you'd have to include.
He misses you.
You'd have to include at least the number 5 pick
for sure.
Ivy or Asar or both. I mean, it's gonna cost a lot, even for Kevin Durant at 36 years old. So
for sure.
Yeah, and that's okay because, like I said, everything's on the table. When you win 14 games, there's nothing not on the table.
Yeah, right. Everything should be available.
So, okay. Well, moving on to the Lions. News out of Allen Park this week was the Lions broke some rules regarding OTA. They lose a practice. Yeah, whatever will they do? It made me sad. I wanted that extra practice in. I think they got the extra practice in that practice.
That's what it sounds like.
Practice,
that's what it sounds like.
Not much here for me. Exactly what I just said. I would assume probably the same for you guys, but you guys are your own person. Eddie, does it upset you?
Yeah, it upsets me. I mean, we're trying to get back to the NFC Championship game. We're trying to go to the Super Bowl, and we're just going to piss away a practice because Dan Campbell's got a hit. Dude, it's stupid. It's stupid. I don't really care. Honestly.
I mean, that's a devil's advocate there.
No. I mean, I could play that, and that's easy. That's easy to do. But I mean, to me, it's also like, it sounds like it's only dumb if they didn't know they could lose it. So it feels like it was like, okay, we might lose this practice, and we don't really care. We want to hit a little bit. And if that's the case, then That's fine. It is one practice. The NFL's not handing out OTA championship trophies. The rookies have their own mini camp, before, so they kind of get their stuff in. We're talking one practice. I haven't seen anybody make a big deal of it. I'd be surprised if anybody did. I was curious. I was hearing stuff about Hendon Hooker. Seems like he's coming along kind of nice, but heard some talking heads saying like, oh, maybe they should trade for like Ryan Tannehill or something as that like backup piece. But I'm like, yeah. I mean, that if they got him, I'd be like, all right, that's cool. Like that's like
Right.
Teddy Bridgewater or whoever.
Right.
But
the guy that could come in and be solid.
But I was also thinking like, because some people were like, I was listening to just some radio guys, obviously, and they were just like, oh, I would feel so much more comfortable, if they got a guy like Ryan Tannehill. And I'm like, yeah, I guess if it happened, but if it doesn't happen, like I just assume whatever, like they've earned enough trust to where it's like, if they feel the most comfortable with Hendon Hooker as the second guy compared to whatever they could get, then I'm cool with that too. Like that makes me comfortable. Like I'm all right with that. So shout out Mark Brunell for all the work he's doing out there, man. He never gets enough credit.
Never enough.
Working with the youngsters, making it happen.
Yeah, it's almost like someone brought that up a while ago.
A long time. You're talking in season now. I'm talking off season Brunell appreciation. Where are you at on that? Where's your off season Brunell love?
I gave him his flowers from the beginning.
I haven't heard
love
it once
Mark
in the
Brunell
off
as their
season.
quarterback coach. What he did for Jared Goff.
Yeah,
I mean that dude should be getting.
It's true. You said that before.
Daily beaches from Jared Goff.
And Ben Johnson gets a ton of the credit. And when they talk about future offensive coordinators, they talk about whoever the passing game coordinator guy is now. And it's like, well, maybe Brunell's just learning what he's doing, but eventually we're going to lose him. I mean, the results speak for themselves. People freaking, I mean, we all know the story. Everybody crapped on Jared Goff. Everybody thought he was done. When he came here, I wasn't super excited. I was like, oh, at least we have a professional quarterback to manage the team while we wait for the next guy.
Right, yeah.
When he first got here. But, dude, look at him now.
He looks great. He looks. I've said this in so many previous episodes when we've talked about this that he just looks like a different quarterback. If you compare his first game as a Lion, first 3 games as a Lion to the NFC Championship, and that might be a little bit of confidence too, but like
that's a big stretch of time with a lot of different things.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. I mean, yeah, okay, I get it, players and whatnot, but I mean, I'm talking just straight mechanics and how he looks throwing the ball, and he just, to me, he looks like a different quarterback.
He also had to get over probably his depression. After a few weeks there, he got traded. I mean, dude, I mean, you put on a good face because you have to, but
it's tough blow.
It's where quarterbacks go to die, right?
Not anymore, baby.
Not anymore.
It's where they go to live.
Yeah. So, I'd like to see Hendon Hooker play a game, like an actual game, before they make a move for like a Ryan Tannehill. Because you don't know what you have until he's in the game, right? So let the kid get a shot as the second, and if he doesn't ever have to play this year, then even better.
I mean, we don't know, but the coaches might.
Right, that's true. If you're not wrong when you say like they make the move, it's not like I'd be like oh, like thank goodness they got Ryan Tannehill,
Yeah,
but. But it would be a smart move. Oh my gosh, I feel so much more comfortable with Ryan Tannehill. You know what I mean? Like, there's no, like, even when they signed Teddy, it was like, oh, that's a good move. It's just for safety. You know what I mean? Just to make sure you have a guy that knows what he's doing. Right. But I mean, when you think about the Lions too, going back to them breaking the rules or whatever, I mean, it's not really surprising that it's because they had a little bit too much physical contact in their practice. I mean, we saw Hard Knocks. He wants these guys to be hit, and apparently it's better for your body as time goes on, which makes sense if you're getting beat up. I mean, you just kind of adjust to it, I guess. I don't know, or evolve to it. So I mean, one practice isn't really anything, especially right now in mid-June. So
I was smiling because you're saying that, and I was thinking of Dan Campbell, and like you brought up where he talked about, I think about you guys, and we got to go full
Yeah.
on, and this,
yeah.
and then like, what if he turned into Gordon Bombay from Mighty Ducks 2 when he's skipping practice and
Oh yeah,
his slick back hair.
he's the Wheaties box and all that.
Week 7, he blows the whistle, comes down.
Practicing after the game.
So
Doing green bays out there. Keep your gear on.
Weekend. They play the Bears Thanksgiving weekend, right?
Yeah.
Eberfluss comes out. They challenge each other.
Oh man, Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah. Oh man.
Oh man,
Dan might
That's
have
what-
that one.
that's where Campbell gets his mojo back, and they win the Super Bowl.
Just lights him up.
That'd be awesome.
That would be pretty
So-
awesome.
All right, let's get into the weekly Tigers update. All right, fellas. Tigers dropped 5 of 7 this week since recording. Javi's injured, and Tariq Skubal shines. Rough week for the fellas. They did win today, which is Thursday. Real quick, because I want to get into something. I want to get into something. So they're 11 back. They start a series with the Astros in Houston tomorrow, which is Friday, and then the Braves Monday through Wednesday.
But only 3 back from the wild card after winning today. They were 3.5 before the day. So I'm guessing they're probably 3.
They're 11 back in the Central. Do you guys have any thoughts? Because I want to get into Tariq Skubal for a second. But do you guys have any overall thoughts from the week at all?
I mean, I got a couple stuff, but there's other stuff I was going to get to too. Just just the hitting issues. I mean, the hitting is just that inconsistent, and it keeps being that way. Like I said, for the Rangers series, we were lucky to win that series, having only scored 6 runs over 3 games. I got lucky to win one against the Brewers, and it's like you have to score all the runs during one inning of the game. I mean, that game, the Tigers scored 10 runs, but 8 of those came in one of the innings. The opening game against the Nationals the other day, lost in extras. All the Tigers' runs came in that one inning, clear the bases, error-aided inside the park home run, from Riley Green. And so it's like, I don't know. I'll go on about that. I mean, I'm glad that Javi is having back issues.
From carrying
allegedly it's been bothering him all season, and that's what's kind of effective. And I'm like, oh, okay, what's the excuse for the last 2 years, right? I mean, but what back issue for 2.5 years? I mean,
it's been bothering him.
Whatever. I'm glad he's down for now. Unfortunately, he'll have to prove himself. I think he'll kind of have to prove himself to get back up with these rehab assignments. It's kind of like we were talking about, doing the A to AAA. Maybe this was just kind of their way of sending him down without actually having to do it. like actually sending him down. So
To
I don't
stroke
know.
his fragile ego.
Yeah. In the meantime, Malloy, he isn't exactly crushing the ball. When I looked up the stats yesterday, which was Wednesday, so I don't have today's in there, he had a batting average of 158. Not great. But then again, when I checked, he'd also only had 19 at bats at the time. On the upside, he's got a 320 OBP, which is fifth highest on the team right now. Had 5 walks, which is only one less than Javi had all season, who had 167 more at bats. I digress on that, and I got some other stuff I want to get into after that, but let you go over the overall stuff there, Dean.
Oh, no, you hit it on the head there. I don't know. There's not really, hitting's been really inconsistent. The only real piece that they have right now is Scooble, which Bill wants to kind of get into. Flaherty's been playing pretty well as a secondary starter, but it can be tough to watch. Like you said, they're very inconsistent batting wise. It seems like there's just one inning that they really put it together, and then every other at bat is just like, oh, here we go, let's hope. Let's like when they played the Nationals and they lost in the extra innings, like you said, off that, Riley Green had that little league home run. It was those errors it just seemed like just careless mistakes at the end of the game that you can't make. They had a legitimate chance to win, and they blew it. And they've been doing that quite a bit, not necessarily with the errors, but just in the sense of batting. So they need to put it together, or figure it out. They need to figure it out.
Kind of curious about this Tarek School stuff.
Well, you bringing up hitting, thought so. Scooble has been amazing. He's been very good. Huge bright spot on a team that needs it desperately. 10 starts. If you don't know by now, he's 8-1 with a 1.92 ERA, already matching his career high win total, and we're in June. My question is to you guys: do they try to lock him up now because he's on a 1-year deal? Or do they trade him away? Because I've seen rumors of them maybe taking calls for Flaherty, which, Eddie, I think you brought up last week about possibly getting rid of, starting to sell or whatever the case may be. My thought is you keep him. You do what you can to keep him. It would show to me that you're now going to start taking this seriously in a regime right now that you don't feel has been really taking it seriously for whatever reason that may be. Eddie, you've brought up multiple times payroll being towards the bottom of the league. I think this would essentially give fans hope that you're going to start trying to do the right thing. He's only 27. He's got great numbers. He's pitching very well. That to me would be enough to be like, all right, let's do this. He's our ace for the next 5 years, whatever, 5-6 years. Let's start working on it. Do you guys have, or do you guys feel like they should trade him away and look to start getting high-end prospects / hitters? Some, MLB ready hitters now. So, just kind of your thoughts on that. I know I kind of sprung that on you. I just thought of that kind of last minute, but
I think because he's our best player on the team, I think you do what you can to keep him, like you were saying. I think yes, you can go ahead and trade him for MLB ready hitters or prospects or whatever the case is, but that doesn't help your team now when you're in a scenario where you could make the wild card if you play your cards right and get the right guys around you. But if you get rid of your ace, I mean, a Cy Young nominee at the moment, all-star this year more than likely. I mean, possibly the best pitcher in the league this season as of right now. That's a tough sell to the fans and to the other guys in the dugout too. I mean, you think like, oh, you're getting rid of our best player. We're all going to phone it in. Like, there's no point in continuing unless you get some like amazing guys back. But I mean, this is realistically, you're going to get high-end prospects, maybe a guy that is a decent hitter. You know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know if you can trade draft picks or draft rights or whatever in baseball, because I know it's like mid-season, their draft. But I think you keep him, because if you can, I mean, he may not want to stay if he's not seeing this team going in the right direction, But then again, you think
Money talks.
Money does talk, but somebody else will give him the money too. I'm thinking the Yankees. He's already a clean-cut guy. I could see them going for him. I mean, that's just, I think
lack of facial hair alone.
Just on the lack of facial hair, he's there. But yeah, I think you try to lock him up for not as long as you can, for at least
100 years.
50,000 years. Your family will feel this contract. You try to keep him for the foreseeable future if you can. But if he's not looking to renegotiate, and it's going to be a difficult negotiation, then I mean, your hands are tied. You pretty much have to unload him, especially if you're going to stay under 500 in the playoffs.
But getting rid of a Cy Young pitcher and then trading him,
if he's not coming back next year and you're under 500, you get what you can for him, because you can get a pretty nice piece player out of it.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as if he says like, well, I want to test the market and free agency, yeah, I mean, yes, that's the circumstance where I say yes, move on, unless you're willing to match any offer. That doesn't even guarantee that he's going to accept it anyway, because once you're out there, you're like, okay, so the Tigers are offering me $1 million more total than whoever.
The Dodgers.
Who were contending, the Dodgers, whatever, and you're like, I also have a chance to win a championship. What are you going to do?
Right.
So yeah, I the original question for sure, I think you got to try to keep him. If you don't, that just goes against the whole thing they've been preaching for the last 2-3 years or whatever. And that, we're bringing up these young guys, we're building up a foundation, we're doing all this, and they're going to trade away a young, like Cy Young, almost even being talked about MVP type of player. Now, and then you sign Colt Keith, which he's doing well now. He's doing pretty well right now. But that doesn't add up to me. You can't tell me that you're building a foundation around these young players and then trade away our best young player for other young players that we're not going to see for 2-3 years. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can sell me Jack Flaherty trade, okay? If we're still under 500, whatever, you make that move. I don't love it, because I think we should be. I think, how I just feel like the place, the city, the fans, we deserve like an attempt at a playoff, right? I mean, it's only been 10 years. So anyway, yeah, no, they should try to keep him. They should do whatever they can to try to keep him. I think any top tier organization would. I think that says something about you if you don't. And it is what it is, man. No, that's a good question. I think it goes against what they've been preaching, number one, which that pisses me off if they end up doing it. And two, how can you keep selling us that and sell us home plate club tickets,
I was gonna say,
and then you trade away the best player we got? So
come
no,
watch our
I
home
would be
plate
upset.
club.
Yeah, watch Javi when he gets back from his lumbar injury, swing and whiff at some stuff. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, I agree, and again, it like you said, it goes against what they're preaching, but it also almost
There better be some
almost
damn good
kills that
prospects.
fan base, dude. It almost kills that. It almost kills the fan base.
Oh yeah, but
Because it's like, all right, well,
Dude, I'm out.
that was it.
I'm out. If they trade, there's no shot I'm going to listen or watch another game this year if they trade Scooble. There's no shot. They don't care that I don't watch or listen to a game the rest of the year. But I'm just saying, I'm not, because why would I? You gave up.
right,
So why would I continue?
right. Well,
So I could talk. I mean, I might, because we talk about it. But even at that point, I'm probably not even going to watch, because I'm like, that just doesn't. It's insulting to like ask me to continue to support your product when you're obviously not even trying, and we have a half a season plus to go.
Right.
Like, why would I watch the other half of the season? You quit.
Yeah.
You quit, I quit.
Right.
I don't want to watch Javi strike out 100 more times, but I'm gonna
No!
if you don't quit.
But I will.
I will watch him strike out in the 8th batting spot.
I would say if you're done, there was one thing I was trying to highlight. Real, I would say real quick.
Yeah.
It's a little quick, not that quick. But the one thing I wanted to highlight about the abysmal hitting situation and all this over the week is really just still my pitch and plea to Tigers brass and for the rest of us to try and push them into bringing some hitting in. Oh wow, the Tigers' current OPS, which I think is one of the more basic sabermetrics, but also a very telling one, right? Well, when I looked it up on Wednesday, it was 668, which is tied for 23rd in the league. If there's any thought, which maybe there isn't, about trying to make the playoff, that number has to come up. You can only redo that through addition right now. For historical context, I looked up the OPS of each playoff team since the Tigers made the playoffs in 2014. The lowest number was 686 in 2022. Of all playoff teams over that decade, we're at 668. And I would doubt, honestly, that you might ever in history find a team with an OPS below 675 that made a playoff. The last year we made the playoffs in 2014, what do you guys think our OPS was?
In 2014?
Yeah.
746.
680.
757.
Let's go.
757. It's also the reason I use this metric, because I think historically the number holds value for overall hitting, and it shows, and I think it shows that with what I found with playoff teams. Historically, I do have an outside the box idea though, to wake up the bats that I do believe could start producing immediate results and wouldn't cost Chris Ilitch any money at all. So we use the resources we have. Bring up Jace Young, keep Javi on the IL for eternity. And then most importantly, we freaking cheat. Come on, baby. We have a manager who won a World Series stealing signals, baby. Why aren't we stealing those? Last I checked, the Astros are still listed as World Series champs. I don't know. It just seems like we have this ultimate resource. We're not even considering it. Worse thought than that. What if we are doing that and still that bad?
Man, I really hope we're not.
AJ, come on, bro. You know you got the secrets. Why are you holding out?
Just switch the object.
You see what we need.
Use a cowbell or something.
Yeah.
You need a garbage can?
Dude, start hiring people in the stands. Connor Stallions is
He's looking
available.
for a job.
The man of disguise, man of mystery.
He's wearing a Reds cap.
The international man of mystery, Connor Stallions, is available right now. Unless he's selling vacuums somewhere. I don't know. But he could probably, he's got binoculars and he's got a hat for every stadium.
Yes, he does.
Hey, man,
What?
I don't care. I really don't. Like, just do it. That would be, the Astros have been good since. Because guess what? You do well, other people are still going to want to go there. Like, they're like, yeah, they cheated, but like, they're going to the playoff. They're making a run. Let's cheat, bro. Come on, Hinch. It doesn't cost anything.
Just a little steroid.
Just your soul.
You've already done it once. It's
So,
fine.
yeah, dude, you already did it. Do it for us.
Stop trying to be who you're not.
Yes, that's not who you are, man.
You're a cheater. You're a cheater, Adrian.
Teach the youngsters. Colt Keith doesn't know any better.
Look at him. He's
Henry Malloy.
squeaky clean.
Do it.
Colt Keith is the squeakiest clean.
Javi would probably be all in. He might even get up over 220. He could be our Altuve.
Give me the
School's
pitch
like,
right
you want me to
here.
put this? You want me to put this? This substance where?
You know where.
I'm squeaky clean. They'll never find it.
Scooble. All of a sudden, Scooble's got a full goatee and beard. Looks depressed out there. It's like he didn't have to cheat. He didn't have to cheat. He was already doing good.
He was already doing it.
If one, we all cheat. Everybody cheats.
Team effort.
Illich should be on board.
I'm sure he doesn't even care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He's already cheated us out of cheated us out of $5 hot and readies.
Yeah.
What's left?
And a decent home run.
Is there anything left? It's sick.
All right.
It's sick.
So, fellas, that's gonna wrap it up for this week. Everyone, thank you for watching. Appreciate all the support that you've been giving us.
There's nothing left.
555. Damn hot ready.
555. The ones around here almost $7.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, it ain't no 555 anymore.
Those rat.
No, that's gone. You're living in the past on 555.
Wait till
I
that.
haven't gotten a hot and ready in quite a while.
Wait until that
fresh.
home
They're
plate
still
club.
good.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, home plate club. Yeah, try and get yourself a personal Little Caesars at the park now. $45. They're already charging $8 glizzies. That's why Joey Chestnut won't go there.
Free Joey.
Free Joey.
So, all right. Well, thank you for thank you for everyone. Thank you everyone for watching this week's episode. Hit us up with a comment. Let us know what you think the Tigers should do with Tariq Skubal. Did the Lions keep breaking the rules? Eddie, what was it you wanted them to comment on? Do you remember?
I don't know. It doesn't matter anymore.
Just rewind it. We need the juice. So, watch last week's episode. That's below me, next to Eddie. Hit the logo. That's below Dean, also next to Eddie. Subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. So, hit the notification bell so you know when we come out with the next new episode, which will be next week. And if you're listening, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for listening. For Dean and Eddie, this is Bill saying, everyone have a great week. And see you next time on the BDE Sports Talk Podcast.
Big Talk
Sports Talk.